Late at night, when the room is quiet except for the soft sound of breathing, your furry friend slowly curls beside you on the bed. A thin line of streetlight stretches across the blanket while he settles closer against your side without making a sound. Maybe his paw touches your leg for a moment before he falls asleep. Maybe you barely notice the warmth of his body beside you anymore because it has become part of your routine. Most people think moments like this are simple. Your dog loves you, the bed feels warm, the room feels safe. But what if something deeper is happening every single night? What if your furry friend has been trying to tell you something in the dark this whole time and you never realized it? Because dogs do not choose sleeping places carelessly. And if a dog who always sleeps beside you suddenly stops one night, that change may mean far more than most owners ever imagine. Most people believe dogs sleep beside humans for one simple reason: soft beds. And honestly, that explanation sounds reasonable at first. Your furry friend has plenty of comfortable places to rest inside the house. A warm couch under the afternoon sunlight, a thick rug near the window, a quiet dog bed in the corner of the room. Dogs are extremely good at finding warmth and comfort when they want it. So if comfort is easy to find, why does he still leave those places and walk toward you every night instead? The answer may have less to do with softness and far more to do with safety. In the animal world, sleep is one of the most vulnerable states possible. A sleeping animal cannot react quickly, escape danger, or fully protect itself. That instinct still exists inside your furry friend, even after thousands of years living beside humans. Studies on attachment behavior in dogs have shown that bonded dogs seek closeness to the person who makes them feel safest during rest. Researchers connected to the secure base effect theory found that dogs often use their owners as emotional anchors in unfamiliar or vulnerable situations. Dr. Gregory Burns from Emory University spent years studying canine emotional processing and found that dogs form deep emotional associations with trusted humans. Your furry friend is not choosing comfort, he is choosing safety. And once you begin looking at bedtime that way, another question quietly starts appearing in your mind. Dogs were never designed to sleep alone. Long before your furry friend ever knew blankets, bedrooms, or the sound of your footsteps in the hallway, his ancestors survived by staying close to the pack at night. Wolves still sleep together this way today. Some rest near the outer edges while others remain closer to the center, creating what researchers describe as shared vigilance, a system where the group protects one another while resting. Even after generations of domestication, traces of that instinct still live inside your dog. Studies published in the journal Animal Cognition suggest that dogs form emotional attachment patterns surprisingly similar to those seen between children and caregivers. Researchers connected this behavior to secure attachment theory, where a trusted figure becomes a source of safety during stress or uncertainty. That is why your furry friend often looks for you during thunderstorms, unfamiliar sounds, or anxious moments in the middle of the night. Some dogs quietly walk into their owner's bedroom after being startled awake. Others settle more deeply once they hear the slow rhythm of familiar breathing nearby. In those moments, your presence becomes more than companionship. It becomes reassurance. He lowers every defense only beside you. And maybe the most emotional part of all is realizing that your dog does not simply sleep near you because he lives in your house, somewhere deep in his instincts. He sleeps near you because his mind has decided you are where safety lives. Sometimes, in the middle of the night, your furry friend slowly presses closer until you can feel the warmth of his body through the blanket. The room stays quiet except for breathing, yours and his, gradually falling into the same rhythm without either of you noticing. After a stressful day, that slow synchronization can feel strangely calming, and according to science, there is a real biological reason for that feeling. Studies on human-dog interaction show that physical closeness between dogs and their owners can reduce cortisol levels in both sides at the same time. Cortisol is the hormone most connected to stress and anxiety. When your furry friend rests close to you, both nervous systems begin calming each other down. Researchers led by Dr. Takafumi Kikusui at Azabu University discovered that emotionally bonded dogs and humans also experience increased oxytocin release during close contact. Oxytocin is often called the love hormone because of its role in emotional attachment between mothers and infants. In other words, your dog may not simply be sleeping beside you for comfort. He could actually be using your presence to feel emotionally regulated and safe. And over time, that connection becomes incredibly sensitive. Sometimes your dog feels your anxiety before you do. You may come home exhausted and say nothing at all, yet your furry friend suddenly refuses to leave your side. You may shift restlessly beneath the blanket, and he quietly moves closer in response. Your breathing changes, your scent changes, your body tension changes, and somehow he notices all of it. This is biological bonding, not simple pet behavior. And once you begin realizing how deeply your dog's nervous system has connected itself to yours, another question quietly starts forming in the dark. Have you noticed that your furry friend often sleeps in very specific places at night? Some dogs settle near the bedroom door with their body facing the hallway. Others sleep across your feet beneath the blanket, while some quietly press against your back as if covering the space behind you. Those positions are not always random. Deep inside your dog still lives part of an ancient vigilance instinct inherited from pack behavior. Wolves in the wild rarely sleep without awareness of their surroundings. Some remain closer to the edge of the group while resting, ready to react if danger approaches in the dark. Your furry friend still carries traces of that protective instinct today. That is why he may suddenly lift his head when a floor creaks in another room, or quietly change sleeping positions when an unfamiliar person stays overnight in the house. Even while resting, part of his attention stays alert. A dog near the door may instinctively monitor movement coming into the room. One sleeping at your feet can react quickly if you stand up or something changes nearby. And when your furry friend presses against your back, he may simply be positioning himself where his instincts feel most useful. He may look sleepy, but mentally, your furry friend is still on duty. And once you start noticing how carefully he positions himself around you at night, you may begin wondering what else your dog quietly believes he is responsible for protecting. The way your furry friend sleeps beside you can reveal far more than most people realize. A dog curled tightly into a small ball with his nose tucked close to his tail is protecting the most vulnerable parts of his body while conserving warmth. You often see this position during colder nights or unfamiliar situations. It usually means he feels safe enough to stay near you, but part of his defensive instinct is still quietly active. Then there is the complete opposite position, lying stretched across the bed with his belly exposed and legs relaxed in every direction. In canine behavior, exposing the stomach during sleep is one of the strongest signs of emotional safety possible. Your furry friend has turned off survival mode beside you. Every instinct that once told him to stay guarded has softened in your presence. Some dogs sleep with their backs turned toward their owners, and many people misunderstand that as distance or indifference. But in pack behavior, turning away can actually mean trust. It is almost like saying, "I trust you to watch my blind spot while I rest." Your furry friend no longer feels the need to monitor you constantly because he already believes you are safe. Then there are the dogs who insist on pressing tightly against your body beneath the blanket, sometimes so close that you can barely move comfortably at night. That contact is not always about warmth. Physical pressure helps many dogs regulate stress and remain emotionally grounded. He wants zero distance between your nervous systems. Some dogs choose to sleep near your feet instead. That position acts almost like a grounding point, a place where he can react quickly if movement or sound changes during the night. And perhaps one of the most emotional positions of all is when your furry friend rests his head directly against your chest. He can hear your heartbeat, feel the rhythm of your breathing, and slowly settle into that steady pattern beside you. Over time, that rhythm becomes familiar and calming to him. Once you start noticing these details, bedtime stops looking ordinary. Your furry friend has been speaking to you every single night, without words, and maybe the strangest part is realizing how much he has already been telling you this entire time. By nature, dogs and humans are not supposed to sleep on the same rhythm. Scientists describe dogs as polyphasic sleepers, meaning they naturally rest in many short periods throughout the day and night. Humans are different. We are mostly monophasic sleepers, staying awake for long stretches before sleeping in one longer block at night. But over time, bonded dogs quietly begin adapting themselves to your routine instead. Your furry friend may stay awake while you move around the room at night, then finally relax once you settle beneath the blanket. Some dogs wait until your breathing becomes slow before falling into deeper sleep themselves. Others somehow wake up moments before your alarm even rings. That adaptation is not simply training. It is an emotional preference. Millions of years of evolution are quietly bending toward your routine. Your furry friend chooses to align his rhythm with yours, because being awake when you are awake and resting when you rest feels emotionally right to him. And once you realize how much of his natural behavior has slowly reshaped itself around your life, another thought begins to appear. Sometimes you may walk through the front door after a stressful day and say absolutely nothing, yet your furry friend already seems to know something feels different. He follows you quietly from room to room, rests closer beside you than usual, or watches your face more carefully in the dark. Scientists believe there is a biological reason for that reaction. Research from Queen's University Belfast found that dogs can detect human stress through smell alone. When your body experiences anxiety or emotional pressure, it releases stress hormones like cortisol, along with tiny chemical compounds through sweat and breath. Humans rarely notice those changes themselves, but your dog can, and scent is only one part of what he observes. Your breathing becomes less steady when you are overwhelmed. Your posture changes slightly. Even the smallest facial micro-expressions around your eyes and mouth shift without you realizing it. Over hundreds of nights sleeping beside you, your furry friend has quietly memorized your emotional baseline. The sound of your calm breathing, the way your body relaxes when you finally feel safe, the rhythm of your movements when your mind is at peace. That is why some dogs suddenly press closer when you are sad or restless. Some wake up the moment you move during a nightmare. He is not guessing, he is reading you. And once you realize how carefully your dog has been studying your emotions all this time, another question becomes difficult to ignore. A dog who always slept beside you does not suddenly stop for no reason. One night, the space near you stays empty. The blanket remains untouched, and your furry friend chooses the floor across the room instead. Sometimes the reason is physical discomfort. Arthritis, sore joints, hidden illness, or simple pain can quietly make jumping onto the bed difficult. Dogs are extremely good at hiding weakness, so the first sign may not be limping or crying, it may simply be distance. Other times, the change comes from the environment itself. A new person sleeping in the room, another pet moving through the house at night, unfamiliar smells on the sheets. Even small changes in routine can affect how safe your dog feels while resting. And sometimes, the reason is emotional memory. A loud thunderstorm during the night, being startled awake suddenly, accidentally being rolled onto beneath the blanket. Moments like these can create negative associations your furry friend remembers long after you forget them. If your dog stops sleeping beside you, listen carefully. Watch where he chooses to rest instead. Notice whether he hesitates near the bed or becomes more alert at night. Your furry friend is communicating, and sometimes the quietest changes carry the most important message of all. The most important thing you can do is pay attention to small changes in your furry friend's behavior. If he suddenly sleeps farther away, seems restless at night, or avoids the bed he once loved, do not ignore it. Watch for subtle stress signs, changes in breathing, hesitation before jumping up, or unusual alertness during the night. At the same time, avoid forcing your dog to sleep beside you if he seems uncomfortable. Trust grows best in spaces that feel calm, predictable, and safe. Keeping a stable nighttime routine, reducing sudden noise, and creating a comfortable sleeping environment nearby can make a bigger difference than most owners realize. Regular health checkups also matter, especially as dogs grow older and begin hiding discomfort more quietly. And maybe the most emotional part of all is this: every breath beside you was intentional. Every moment your furry friend pressed closer against you in the dark was trust. Every night, he chose your side of the bed over every other place in the house. That was a choice. Your furry friend did not choose the softest place in the house. He chose you. So now I want to ask you something. Does your dog sleep beside you every night? And what is your furry friend's favorite sleeping position when he feels safest near you? Tell us in the comments, because once you begin seeing these quiet little habits differently, bedtime may never feel ordinary again.